What's going on, people? It's your boy Tops back again with a brand new show, Tops in the Morning Show. Every morning, every weekday, I'm going to be talking about the latest news about football all across the Premier League. Before I get into it, make sure you guys subscribe to the video or subscribe to the channel, like the video. Big up everyone that's tuned in. Big up everyone that's made us hit 3,000 subscribers. Love that for us on this channel. So yeah, let's get into it, man. Let's get into it. Obviously, big up the chat as well. Big up Henry Ford early in the building, y'all. Big up Tots. Big up yourself, my brother. Hope you're well. Like the new show. I appreciate that, man. I appreciate you. Make sure you subscribe and obviously like the video as well. Man United making good signings, I have to say. LOL. Nah, I'm gonna get into it, man, for sure. They're making some top signings. I can't even lie, man. Can't even hate. I did rate the players before they were linked to them, so yeah, can't even hate, brother. But yeah, I'll get into it, man. Where is Arsenal striker, bro? I'm thinking the same thing, man. I'm thinking the same thing. But yeah, I'll get into it, man. I'll get into it. Boom. Right, let's get into the news, man. Man United, I don't know if you can see it, but I'll read it out anyway. Man United have improved their offer to Brentford for Brian Mbeumo to a package worth in excess of £60 million, according to TalkSport. So obviously TalkSport's not the best of sources, I'll grant you that, but it does seem like it's picking up steam obviously on social media that they have made a second bid, man, for over 60 mil. And to be fair, I'm shocked, man. I'm shocked about them spending this kind of money already, for the simple fact that I didn't think they'd be able to spend this much, considering they didn't get to the Champions League or Europe in general. I'm surprised that they're able to spend 62 million on Cunha and then bid 60 plus on Mbeumo, and you would think they're probably going to get a striker as well. So yeah, it's a bit of a strange one, man. But we'll see. We'll see. Talks have accelerated in the past 24 hours and will continue this week. Which is fair. And Mbeumo has always made it clear to the Bees his preference is to join Man United over reunited with Thomas Frank at Spurs. So obviously there was talk that it could be a case where he gets reunited with Spurs because Thomas Frank's obviously gone there, innit? Which I could see, to be fair. I could see him obviously going there, but at the same time, it's like, why would you go to Spurs in simple fact that obviously just because obviously they got Thomas Frank there, where in general, Man United are a bigger club in it. Like, I know obviously they're 15th and not doing great. But it's literally because of that Europa League that saved Spurs, otherwise they'd be 17th. So I can understand why, to be fair, he'd go Man United, probably going to get paid more money. Obviously it's a bigger club in general, so yeah, I can see that, man. Man United have already agreed personal terms with Mbeumo on a contract worth 250k a week. It's a lot of money, bro. It is a lot, and it's a massive jump. I don't know what he was on. I think it was I want to say like 50k or something, 40 or 50k at Brentford. So to go from that to 250 is crazy in one swoop, man. One contract. So it's a lot of money they're paying him, but at the same time, you could say, well, look how many goals he got, man. He got what? 20 league goals, Premier League goals. Now, like I said before, obviously I was an Arsenal fan. The last time we had a guy that got 20 Premier League goals was Aubameyang, and I was in 2020. So 5 years, bro, we had one player to get 20 league goals. So it's a hard thing to do, and we've been up there. We've been obviously finishing second. So yeah, you can't be sniffed at, man, especially at a team like Brentford, who are not notoriously known for obviously scoring a lot of goals in general. You got to obviously pay some respect to it, innit? But yeah, Spurs are now expected to focus their efforts on the swoop for Crystal Palace star Eze. I'm not sure if Eze is going to make a move, you know. I mean, I know there's been a lot of talk of Crystal Palace may be willing to accept 60 million in 3 installments and that, but I think he should just really just stay where he is. I can't even lie, because again, you've obviously won Crystal Palace the FA Cup, scored in the final, scored in the semi-final, got them into Europe. Hopefully that can get obviously sorted with the whole ownership issue or whatnot. In the Europa League, and be playing in Europe, you're playing for England. There's a World Cup coming up as well. That's the key thing I think for this decision is a World Cup coming up. Now you want to be playing. Yeah, Crystal Palace, he knows he's going to be playing week in, week out, regardless of obviously who's there, the manager, whatever. When you go to a different club, there's not a guarantee, even though you might be a big money signing, that you're going to be playing week in, week out. And with the World Cup looming, you really want to be playing as many minutes as possible to make sure you ensure you get picked, because it's not guaranteed. Even though we already know there's been bigger admissions for tournaments than obviously Eze before. So yeah, you got to make sure you get picked to make sure you're on form as well. Because if you're not on form, then there's the likelihood that you're not going to get picked, or if you're not playing regularly, it's likely you're not going to get picked. So for me, I think Eze should stay at Crystal Palace personally for another season. Play in Europe, obviously. Be happy that you're playing in Europe for the first time, and then yeah, go from there, man. Because I think people will still be after him even after obviously this season as well. To be fair, Eze has been an incredible talent at Selhurst Park. since making his move since from Queen's Park Rangers, in 2020. He has scored 40 goals and assisted another 28 in 127 appearances, which is pretty good, to be fair. 68 GA for Crystal Palace. That's nearly 1 in 2 to become one of the best players outside the Big Six. 26-year-old also scored the winning goal against Manchester City to crown Crystal Palace FA Cup champions. Contract doesn't expire until 2027. So a reasonable sum would need to be paid by the interested clubs. Very interesting. He's understood to have a release clause of 68 million. That kicked in at the end of the season. Manchester City have also held historical interest in the international. As for United, the signing of Mbeumo would see them continue their summer spending after the disastrous campaign. I hear that, man. They've not been great, to be fair. They've not been great in terms of their campaign, man. It's been pretty bad, to be honest. In terms of obviously what we were saying, with the Eze thing, I think even if like a Manchester City came in for him, I still think that he should just stay at Crystal Palace, because I think it's just more. There's more weight in him staying at a club that he's playing regularly than potentially going to a bigger club where he's going to be rotating and stuff like that. And it might not be. You don't want another Jack Grealish situation where you're on the periphery. Sometimes you play a crucial like part of the game, and then other times you don't. It is a bit of a sticky one still. We'll have to wait and see what happens with that one. Obviously, just talking about Man United, Matheus Cunha has already completed his 62.5 million pound move from Wolves. See, this is the thing, man. It's mad how obviously they bought Cunha from Wolves for that amount, and then they're gonna get Mbeumo for probably about the similar amount. That's 120 plus million. Then you're probably looking at like the likes of maybe like even if they get a Gyökeres or a Sesko or another striker in that obviously striking position. If they get that as well, you're probably talking another 60 million. So that's only 200 mil. That's not even like talking about like the keeper that they need, new keeper, probably some backup defenders, maybe. Midfield needs a revamp, if you're being honest. Obviously, they've just bought Ugarte last year, but again, Bruno's probably staying, but you would still say they need someone else. There's rumors that Casemiro might be on his way out to Saudi playing there. So, there's still a lot of money. So you're looking at Man United spending 200, 300 mil now. How that's sustainable? I know they're obviously the biggest club, obviously in the Premier League in terms of like revenue and finances and stuff like that. But this whole PSR kind of like situation, I don't know how that is obviously doable, considering they've not got any European income, and obviously that has a knock-on effect in terms of not having any kind of the biggest sponsorship deals that they could possibly get because it's not in the Champions League or in Europa League, and so on and so forth. So I feel like it could be a knock-on effect going forward. So I think they're making a big gamble. I think they're thinking, you know what, we need to go big this summer. I know it might potentially backfire and we might not be able to go big in the next couple of summers. But if we can go big and then try and get that Champions League spot or a Europa League spot and then get that money back through that, obviously, European revenue, then that's the risk we're going to have to take because obviously they need to improve the team. The two players they've got, I think they're very good players. I think Cunha can obviously score out of nothing, whether it's through dribbling past loads of players or having shots from outside the box. We've seen it plenty of times. Obviously, last season for Wolves, I think he played very, very well. So he can do that situation there. And then also you got Mbeumo, who is very, very clinical on that right hand side, cutting onto his left foot, scoring obviously at the far post, scoring at the near post. Like he scored against big teams as well. Scored against Arsenal last season. He does score against some of the top teams. Fantastic goal against Spurs as well. I think it was, or Manchester City. I think it was like a volley. So, bro, he's got previous, man. He knows what he's doing. Do you know what I mean? He knows what he's doing. So, we'll have to wait and see with that one. Obviously, another breaking news from yesterday as well. He's talking about Christopher Nkunku has emerged as a target for Manchester United as well. So, again, a bit of a strange one because obviously he's a number 10 and you've just kind of bought. I mean, Cunha is more of a number 10. Mbeumo is more of a wide forward, I would say. But with the formation that obviously Ruben Amorim plays, he plays with 2 10s and a striker. Very, very interesting to see that they're linked with this. And this is actually a legit source because of Fabrizio Romano tweeted that there was contact at January to see if they could get him on loan. They said no. And then now, towards the end of the season, Nkunku, it looks like he's going to be leaving Chelsea. Not really had a massive chance, or fair chance, to be honest with you, man. I don't think he's had a lot of game time or as much game time as you probably would have thought in his actual position because Cole Palmer is obviously there. To Man United, what do you guys think, man? Make sure you tell me in the comments what you think about this potential situation. Because how much would he cost? Another 40, 50 mil? I know I'm sure Chelsea got it for like 60 mil. So you would assume that they're going to want to get some of that money kind of back. whether it's 30 or 40 mil. So yeah, very, very interesting, man. Very interesting. Have to keep an eye on that one. So obviously it says Moises Kean of Fiorentina and formerly of Everton is another name linked to Old Trafford. So they are being linked with a few names. They are being linked with a few names, man. And it doesn't look like they're gonna get a striker on top of this. Like I said, going to be very interested to see how that obviously pans out. Man United have also been linked with Sporting Lisbon striker Victor Gyökeres, who has been previously worked with head coach Ruben Amorim. Obviously, that's massive links. Obviously, the massive story that came out a couple of weeks ago that he rejected. Well, he prioritized Arsenal over Manchester United. However, TalkSport understands that Gyökeres expects to join their Premier League rivals Arsenal. So yeah, Arsenal still not made their decision in terms of who they're going to get. So I'm pretty convinced that potentially it might not be Gyökeres, but we'll have to wait and see. Big up Henry Ford. It says, where is the Arsenal striker? This is what I was wanting to get into, man, because I don't know about you guys, bro, but I'm just getting a bit fed up about the whole Gyökeres Sesko. Please just pick one, man. Like, time's ticking. It's going to be July next week. And yeah, we've still not got any closer to... Yeah, and remember, this is, I mean, obviously the rumor is that obviously Andre Berta is going to come in, and during this period, he's negotiating. So as soon as they pick a target, the deal should be get done pretty swiftly. Obviously, we're yet to see this because this is the first time he's been in charge of transfer. That's going to happen in. But yeah, obviously, traditionally, this is probably normally the first stage in terms of like picking the target. Then you normally have to negotiate the target. So unless he's doing a negotiation at the same time during this period, I hope he is, because I don't want this thing to be like, okay, we pick Sesko, for example, next week, and then we're taking another month to negotiate, bro. It's like, you know what I mean? You're just dragging out. Remember, we got other positions to obviously get as well, by the way. So yeah, I don't want this thing to drag out more than it needs to be honest with you. But yeah, man, we'll have to wait and see with that. But yeah, in terms of the striker situation, I personally want Gyökeres. I still stand by that. I feel like there's just less excuses if he comes in about him not working out. I think there'll be a collective thought within the fan base that, okay, this has to work now. Even if you didn't want him, okay, he's got loads of goals. He should be coming in and starting scoring goals, man, as soon as possible. Do you know what I mean? There's no settling in period. Whereas Sesko is going to get that grace of settling in, being a guy to obviously have a couple of more years to get more experience under his belt because he's 22, etc. And he just prolongs it, man. He just drags it out too much, man, for me. So yeah, that is it, man. That is it. But yeah, I didn't want to go into obviously the Sesko news. That swiftly brings me onto it. Boom. Have a look. Make sure you guys smash the like button on the video and all that good stuff, and subscribe to the channel if you're not already. So yeah, it's just obviously it's the Mirror actually talking about Arsenal ponder transfer U-turn following demand from number one target Benjamin Sesko. Also have made Benjamin Sesko their priority target this summer as they look to bolster their front line. But the RB Leipzig strike has a hefty wage demand. Man said hefty, you know. Yeah, crazy. Arsenal growing frustrated with Benjamin Sesko over his wage demands as they look to wrap up a deal for their top summer target. Added a number 9 is a priority for the cartel, but negotiations are not going smoothly due to his desired salary. So yeah, there is rumors that 1, he wanted a release clause, and 2, he wants big money, over 200 grand a week now. This is obviously not being confirmed, but there are the rumors, man. If that's the case, bro, for me, I'll just move him on. I'll just move on to the next target because I don't think he's that good of a player to be warranting 200 grand. You've not done nothing. Let's be real. Like, you've not done anything substantial, man. You know, you scored 13 Bundesliga goals. You scored a few bangers, but that's about it, bro. Like, you scored in the Champions League once or twice. Bro, that's it. Like, it's not like you're having a generational, like Lamine Yamal or Mbappe kind of like young kind of season where even Haaland, for example, you could say, you know what, fair enough. You warrant getting 200 grand because you've been banging in goals for Dortmund. Like, that's not been the case in it. So if that's true, then yeah, that will just put me off straight away. Because one, why do you want a release clause? Like, English clubs never have release clause for their players. Very rarely, unless you're literally at like a, no disrespect, Crystal Palace, West Ham, like them kind of level teams where you want to go obviously step up into like the big six. But to have a release clause at a big six side, like, is crazy to me anyway. Because yeah, no big six side should have the mentality of being a stepping stone for one of their players, man. That's madness. But yeah, the Gunners want the Hitman to be their big summer recruit and are ready to pay the 70 million asking price, which is a lot of money, man. That's obviously into that nearly 85, 90 million pound euro kind of mark for this guy, man. and Leipzig are demanding. Their failure to qualify for Europe has somewhat forced their sell with a highly rated striker tip for the Premier League. So yeah, obviously there's reports saying, and this is the report that backs it up, saying that there's a lot of like to and fro in terms of what Arsenal want to do, because they don't want to pay the target. They don't want to pay the they don't want to pay the wages. But I still think that we're probably going to sign this guy in it. If I'm being honest, man, I think it's just a bit of back and forth, a bit of, you know what, we don't want to pay this amount of money for the player, or we don't want to pay this amount of money for the player and pay his wages as well. So give or take. Because again, I don't see anything kind of progressing with the Gyökeres thing. It's just kind of hearsay and stuff like that about potential bids and stuff, but I don't really see anything concrete. However, Sesko's camp are looking to land a big payday and what more than Arsenal are preparing to shell out. It means that, as first revealed by the Sun, the North Londoners could back out, with the sport director Andre Berto having been negotiating multiple deals simultaneously just in case. So yeah, that's obviously the rumor that they've been saying, that simultaneously they're gonna bid or negotiate with different players at the same time. Hopefully that's the case. If so, it would likely take them to the direction of Victor Gyökeres. The Swede is determined to leave Sporting Lisbon in the summer after another stunning year in front of goal. But the 27-year-old knows isn't Arsenal's first choice. Arteta and co are aware that Manchester United remain publicly keen on Gyökeres. Ruben Amorim would welcome his former player to Old Trafford, which is obviously a key thing, but Arsenal can offer Champions League football, which could aid them in negotiations. Also have opted against adding a prolific hip frontman in recent windows. He said prioritizing other positions. However, it's come to taught them in the past, as they dealt with the plethora of injuries whilst Kai Havertz's finishing lets him down at points, for sure. He has put the club under pressure to address this issue, especially after missing out on the Premier League title for a third straight year. The Gunners could also miss out on targets with Nico Williams close to seeing the switch from Athletic Bilbao to Barcelona. Yeah, this is what I mean. I'm, to be honest with you, with the Nico Williams thing, I'm pretty happy that we're not signing him, because I don't know, man. Again, you know what it is? I just feel like I'm just sick of just hoping that players are going to be good. Like, we should be in the phase stage now, especially in phase 6 or whatever it is, man. I don't even know what phase this is for Arsenal fans. But it should be in a phase now where you've got to be getting top class players that are going to be more certified than others. I think like these, like Nico Williams and Seskos, these are guys that we should be getting in like 2022, 2023. Like when we're obviously just got back into the Champions League and we're trying to go for the league. But then you get that kind of player that can maybe mature into something decent. But when you're firmly been in the Champions League for a couple of years now, I don't think you should be getting prosperous, man, especially spending the amount of money you're spending on them, 50, 60, 70 mil. When you've not got already certified players in that position. Like, it won't be too bad if these were like backup / kind of going to be players that are going to be competing. But these are going to be your first teamers, and you're expecting them to hit the ground running when they're still pretty young, still pretty inexperienced, and don't have a massive history of scoring loads of goals. That's the issue for me. So yeah, man, Nico Williams, I'm glad we're not getting him. He was always going to go Barcelona, man. It was just a waste of time. Like, he was never going to leave Spain. So yeah, I'm glad that obviously has been put to bed. But yeah, and obviously quick other news about Mark Gay being obviously a player on Arsenal's transfer list as well as Liverpool's. But Gay's got obviously doubts about his game time at the Emirates, given the partnership between Saliba and Gabriel. However, the feeling within the squad is that new faces will arrive. So yeah, Mark Gay, man, is a big one, man. Big up AFC always. Hope you're well, brother. Hope you're good. Big yourself up, man. Just talking about the Sesko news and the Gyökeres news, man. And yeah, just getting a bit sick of it, to be fair. Like, I just hope we just pick one and just go from there, because again, at the minute, it's just looking like we're just going around in circles. I'll be honest, man. It doesn't seem like we're going to get a proper conclusion on what's going to happen with this thing. And the time's ticking, man. Time is ticking. Like, let's be real. I think they go out to pre-season. Well, I've seen earlier that before they go to, I think, Singapore, in I think July the 19th, they've got a pre-season training camp in Spain the week before. So you're talking the week before. That's probably July the 11th. That's only 2-3 weeks away, man. Do you know what I'm saying? So that's not too far away. So we've got some things to do, bro. Like, we've got some things to do. We can't be waiting this long. And this is just one position, by the way. Big up AFC always. He says it's so jarring. Oh, 100%, bro. This has been the worst bit. not even, and it's getting to the point where it's like, and I think I said before I was like adamant it's going to be Gyökeres. Now it's just like, bro, just get one of them. I don't really care now. And maybe this is the issue. Maybe this is one of the tactics they're doing where people at Arsenal, they know that it's going to be 50-50 in terms of who wants who. So they're just going to long it out to the point where fans are just grateful to have a striker in. Do you know what I mean? And they've done stuff like that in the past where they've put you in a certain position where you've just got to just firm it and be like, you know what, I'm happy we've just got something. IG Sterling last year where it looked like we weren't going to get anyone. And then we got Sterling, which everyone thought was better than nothing, but it turned out it was still bad. So yeah, man, it might be a stealth plan for them. But yeah, the sooner we get this sorted, the better, man. But what has been interesting is the fact that we're still being linked with centre backs and obviously left backs as well. We've been linked with Hato from Ajax, been linked with Gay, we're linked with Housen as well. And the prices for these players are like 40-50 mil at minimum. Like obviously Gay's probably going to be a bit more. But yeah, Hato's been touted like 40-50 mil. Your man there, Housen, obviously went for 50 mil. But it's just funny how it seems like we're willing to pay that if obviously the player picks us out of the teams that are available. But we're not willing to pay that for like a winger or a striker. Like we're haggling a bit on paying like an extra 10 mil for a striker. And it's like, I don't get why we're trying to penny pinch in that kind of key area where we need those kind of positions sorted. When in the defense, we'll happily spend loads of money. Do you know what I mean? Loads of money in that defense, man. So yeah, it is a bit of a strange one, man. It is a bit of a strange one, but I feel like it needs to get sorted as soon as possible, bro. As soon as possible. If I'm being honest, man. As soon as possible. Obviously, there's rumors coming out today that Arsenal are supposed to be very, very busy, extremely busy. Is the reports. I think obviously it came from, I think it was Timber, I think it was that came. Yeah, it was. Obviously just gonna go into what Timber said as well. Big up everyone tuning in and make sure you guys smash the likes button on the video and subscribe to the channel if you're not already, man. Big up everyone tuning in. I'm just gonna go through what Timber obviously said. He says, first through the door. I mean, again, it's still not been announced about Zubimendi, by the way. I know Ornstein said he's had a medical and people have said he's getting 35 shirt number and stuff like that, but it's still actually not been announced that we're gonna get him. So yeah, it says obviously first through the door looks set to be Zubimendi, with also ready to pay his £51 million release clause and fend off interest from Real Madrid. The 26-year-old will offer a new element to Mikel Arteta's midfield. The Gunners are weighing up a move for one of Gyökeres or Benjamin Sesko. Sporting Lisbon striker bagged 54 goals. This is what I'm saying. 54 goals last season, while the 22-year-old Prosper Sesko has youth on his side and is a long-term target. Yeah, man, this is not for me, bro. Not for me. But I'm not saying he's not a bad player or anything, but just, bro, if I had to pick the two, I'm picking Gyökeres personally. Alternatives include Aston Villa striker Ollie Watkins and PSG striker Ramos as a dream signing. Isak has been deemed too expensive. Now, the thing with the Isak thing, and maybe this is one of the reasons why Arsenal are storing, if it comes out that he's actually available, it'll be so mad if we don't actually get this guy, because again, we've been after him since he was at Sociedad, and the fact that he would have been available twice, Sociedad and Newcastle, we opted to pick someone else, would be crazy. But yeah, and it's definitely something to obviously keep an eye on for sure. But yeah, Ollie Watkins is a player where I'm just like, well, if you've got Ollie Watkins in there, for me, if we got Ollie Watkins and someone else, I won't be too mad at it, because at least with Ollie Watkins, you're guaranteed to get goals. And I feel like that's what we're just lacking. Look how amount of goals we scored last year. Was it 67, 68 or something? It was very, very low compared to we scored the 90 plus the season before. Sorry. So yeah, I do feel like we need a couple of players that can contribute in that forward line for sure. Take some of the pressure off Saka as well. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, that would be definitely more ideal. It will definitely be a busy one for Arsenal. This is what Tim said, by the way. I think we will get a lot of players because we had so many injuries last season. At one point, we almost had no players left. Wow, this is what I'm saying, bro. So for the depth of players, they definitely want to get players in. So, bro, if Timber's saying that we need loads of players, that's how you know, bro. That's how you know we're struggling, man. Because again, he had to play injured literally because we had no one ready to cover. Ben White was injured. Tomiyasu was injured. So that right back position, and then Partey, we needed him in midfield because again, when we took him out of there, I think we won one game, and that was against Southampton at home. That was the only game we won when he played right back. So when he played right back, we just missed too much stuff in midfield. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, it's crazy, man. Timber's own position could be under threat, having primarily played at left back at right back since his £34 million arrival from Ajax in 2023. Also understood to be looking at a number of fullback positions in addition to work being done to bolster their attack and midfield. Yeah, we need a lot, bro. Like I said, Ben White is just come back from obviously a knee injury. You look at Timber, who played injured for the majority of the season in terms of like his foot was obviously hurting him. Stuff with obviously his ACL was playing up as well, but obviously we had no one else because Tomiyasu missed the entire season, played 5 minutes. So yeah, that was obviously an issue as well. So yeah, I'm not surprised, man. And for me, we have to be looking at options at fullback as well, because we can't play Timber for the majority of the season next year, in my opinion, because again, you're looking at him being probably injured again. And I don't think he even probably will be ready for preseason. Remember, he's had surgery, so it might even be a rush back for him to start at the start of the season. So yeah, and then you're looking at Ben White again, because again, Tomiyasu's out till next year. So this is the issue when you have long-term players that are out long-term. Like you have to actually buy more players. Because again, these guys are not reliable, just not fit enough in it. The Gunners co-chairman Josh Kroenke recently offered a hint towards the club's approach to the summer after another season without trophy. We plan to invest to get behind a winning and doing better next season. Kroenke wrote to the supporters in May. Obviously, they always do this. This is to get your season ticket money in. It's a common trait. We all hear about the war chest every single season, and it doesn't really play out, really, if we're being honest. We're delighted to have our sporting director, Andrea Berto, who will play an important part in this. He's part of the United and unified and strong team, supported by the board, who are crystal clear on exactly what we need to do and in which way we want to do it. Obviously, it's a good talk, but bro, you guys need to deliver on the pitch. You know what I'm saying? You guys need to deliver and actually get the signings in. Which striker should Arsenal sign? Victor Gyökeres and Benjamin Sesko. You guys in the comments, man, let me know which striker you think Arsenal should sign. Should we sign Benjamin Sesko? Should we sign Victor Gyökeres? I mean, different people have said different things to me in it. Some people want Gyökeres in, like myself. Some people say Sesko's a better footballer, which I can see. I feel like some of the goals I've seen Sesko score, I don't think Gyökeres could score, to be fair, in terms of his technique and the volleys and stuff like that. Bro, they've been impressive. I'm not going to sit here and say he's not been scored some good goals. However, for me, it's the him being prolific is the issue, because I'm thinking about it now, because a couple of people have said to me, oh, well, maybe we don't need too many goals because we can just obviously get someone that scores in that key position. But my feeling is now, thinking about it, it's like, well, we've already got Kai Havertz that gets 10 to 15. Like, for me, we need someone that gets more than 10 to 15. Do you know what I'm saying? As well as Kai Havertz is 10 to 15. Because only one of them you would assume is going to be playing at the same time, because no one wants to see Kai Havertz in midfield. So then if you're going to replace him, he's got to be someone that's more prolific and scores more goals while he's in the starting lineup, in my opinion. And I feel like Gyökeres is going to be, and this is just an opinion, I could be wrong. Sesko could come in and slap. I'm not going to discount it. I don't think he would, but he could do, innit? And Gyökeres could flop. Do you know what I'm saying? So I'm not massively set on both, if I'm being honest. Like I said, if you ask me about a situation and which one I'd rather pick, I'd rather go through Isak, bro. Like, he's the main man. He's the guy that you think, yeah, but literally bar his injuries, you think, yeah, this guy's going to slap here. He just feels like an Arsenal player, the way he drifts out to the left, the dribbling, the type of goals he scores, top corner, all that kind of good stuff. So you just think he's an Arsenal player, man. But yeah, it's crazy, man. It's crazy. You got to just obviously have a look and see what kind of options they've got, man. Big up AFC always. No striker, but Arsenal promoting dog shampoo and dog collars and coats. Yeah, I did see that they're doing the whole like merchandise thing, man, which is crazy, by the way. Absolutely nuts, man. I can't believe they're doing that. Birds has a lot of mess to clean up, for sure, bro, for sure. And this notion, I've seen, this isn't obviously a good debate as well. Like, not a notion of where people are like, if Burton don't get the job done, he's got to be out. For me, you got to give him a better time, man. There's no way you can, because it's just not. It's going to be. I'm not saying it's going to be the same amount of time Arteta's got, because for me, Arteta's had too much time anyway. But I think you got to give him a bit of time. It can't just be like one window. If you don't do what we want, then he's out. Do you know what I mean? Like, already, because like, bro, you got to look at the, not even the mess, but look how much stuff he does have to sort out in terms of like contract renewals and stuff like that, and obviously players coming in and the right type of players and stuff like that. So yeah, you got to wait, man. I mean, the window. Obviously he's not finished yet, but I can see the frustration from Arsenal fans, man, because again, we've had to wait so long, man, for a decent transfer window. So it's just kind of like a thing where it's just bundled up over time, innit? Do you know what I mean? But yeah, man, obviously, you guys can say the right way, the Arsenal way. Ultimately, we want all the same thing. We're as hungry for success as you are, and that goes for everyone who works for the club. Obviously, that's Cronky. Towards the end of the campaign, Arteta was asked if he felt he was backed by the club's hierarchy. Yeah, but that's not something new. So, see, this is where, again, when Arteta says things like that, you've not really got a leg to stand on, innit? This is your opportunity. Yeah, I know you work for them. Yeah, I know all of that good stuff. But this is your opportunity to either throw in some digs or subliminally call them out in terms of, yeah, I've been back, but we need more. Like stuff like that. But you saying, yeah, but that's not something new. So what's the excuse for you not delivering then if you've been back to that high heel? Like, this is what I'm saying. So I think you can't have it both ways. You've got to either, like you said, take all the responsibility and blame on yourself for not achieving what you wanted to achieve and saying what you were going to achieve, which is get majors. Or you got to put some responsibility on obviously the hierarchy not getting you the players that you wanted. But I think it's more Arteta personally. But yeah, they always back the team, the club in the best possible way. They're not going to be any different this summer. Big words, man. You better deliver. You better deliver, bro. A lot of Arsenal fans are not convinced that's going to be the case, innit? But yeah, we'll have to wait and see, man. We'll have to wait and see for sure. But yeah, Zubimendi announcement plan emerges as Arsenal face transfer delay. So yeah, this is what I was saying obviously before. Make you guys smash the likes on the video, man, and subscribe to the channel. Obviously doing a daily transfer show every day in the week, man. And obviously a morning show, which I'm doing right now. But yeah, just on about Zubimendi's and Martin Zubimendi's transfer to Arsenal is not expected to be made official until July. So yeah, you're looking at July, man. Even though the player has already traveled to London with his agent to put his finishing touches on his switch to Real Sociedad. So July is what, next week? Again, a long time that we've heard about this, but hopefully, I can't wait. And I'm annoyed that obviously also made me feel like this because again, in isolation, this should be a good signing, like an exciting signing. Oh yeah, we get so many different type of profile of midfielder that we don't really have apart from Jorginho, but he's got a bit more legs, so that can break the lines from obviously deep and stuff like that, and may hopefully quicken up our obviously possession play because it's been so methodic and slow the last couple of seasons, if we're being honest, man. So yeah, man. But again, because they've obviously dragged out this kind of announcement to kind of hide the fact that we've knocked out competitions, it's kind of lost a bit of lust about it. Do you know what I mean? The Spanish international was in the capital on Friday. This is according to reports, to meet with the Gunners officials as well as Mikel Arteta. And this is the first big statement of the transfer window. Now, the only problem with this, and again, on paper, good signing, but even if we do get him, it's just to replace players that we've left. That's the issue. And for me, we need more bodies, man. We had a young squad. We had a small squad last season. 22-man squad when you can have what 25. So for me, we need some more players for sure. However, Sociedad want move to be finalized next month for the financial records at the current football financial year is due to end on June the 30th. Arsenal also expected to pay slightly over Zubimendi's £51 million release clause, and the final fee could yet reach 55 all in. To be fair, 55 mil for obviously what the going rate is for a midfielder, considering we paid 105 for Declan Rice. Say he's a pretty decent deal if we're being honest, man. It's a pretty decent deal for sure. We could have been paying a lot more, and I feel like we would have been if it wasn't for that release clause, man. If I'm being honest, I think it would be for that release clause, man. Always says, I do not have expectations for this coming season, bro. Where do you think we're gonna finish, man? Where do you think we're gonna finish? Because at the minute, I'm thinking it's gonna be, I don't even know, man. Top 3, 4, maybe at the minute. Obviously, we're not signed anyone or had anyone confirmed, so it's a bit early on. But yeah, it's not. You're not going into the season gassed, are you? I mean, we still could be if we make the signings, and again, there's still time. But you know what it is? Is again, there's a lot of equity. I feel like has been lost with the Arsenal fans with the board because of the last couple of windows. So the optimism is not there. But listen, you want to be looking forward to the season, man. Especially when obviously it's been a couple of months since the season ended from May to like August. You want to be gassed first day of the season, and plus we got Man United as well. So it's like we got to be up for that one away from home. So yeah, first game. I can't remember us playing them in the first game. We might have done during the early Premier League years, but I can't remember us playing Man United first game. I know obviously with the 8-2, I think that was like the third game. I think we yeah, Liverpool at home the second game, and then Man United away the third game, which was a pretty hard start. But and then we lost 8-2. So hopefully that's not a repeat. Do you know what I mean? The extra 4 mil though, sources remain tight-lipped on the final figures at this stage, would entitle them to be more of a favourable payment structure. Spread across longer periods of time, significantly would give them further flexibility in the market amid the tightening of PSR regulations. So yeah, paying a bit more than a release clause and doing it over obviously staggered payments would potentially. I mean, we say this, but yeah, we want obviously that to be put in action with obviously you signing some players. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, Real Madrid have also been tipped to hijack Arsenal's swoop for the 26-year-old following Xabi Alonso's arrival at the Bernabeu. But Zubimendi's impending transfer was already agreed in principle several months ago, and the Gunners have long been operating with the belief that he would join this summer. So yeah, there's been a lot of rumors and a lot of Arsenal fans worried about Real Madrid coming in, stuff like that. But yeah, it's one of those ones where until obviously you see him holding up the shirt, there's always a situation where he could obviously leave. Meanwhile, Thomas Partey's contract situation currently looks bleak as discussions have not been progressed between the parties, bearing an any late U-turn. The Ghanaian is set to become a free agent at the end of the month. Obviously, that was something I was going to get into maybe in the next stream, but yeah, I might as well talk on it now, man. Thomas Partey potentially leaving, bro. Yeah, we could be in trouble, man. We could be in trouble because the reliance on him, just not even from obviously the Arsenal fans, but just from the manager in general. Like, he's the guy that normally starts every game, whether it's at right back or in obviously that midfield. And even though you could say he's probably declined from obviously a couple of years ago where he was top. I still think he had a very good season this season because he stayed fit for the majority. Even though off the ball, he definitely has declined because, again, you can't get back in certain situations. But still on the ball, we still look our best or played our best football when he was playing in that kind of 6 role. And to lose that potential with Zubimendi, who you could argue is probably not even as good as him, especially because he's not Prem proven yet, because he's not played in the Prem before. It's a bit of a worry, man. I can't lie, it's a bit of a worry. Because again, it's looking like even with because it looks like we're gonna have to replace him, but even with the replacements, I don't know if it's gonna be someone that's gonna be obviously fit and suitable for where we are as a team in terms of, okay, we're challenging for the league. We can't get, for example, another Lakonga regen where it's like he's got potential, he looks decent, bro. You got to be ready for a title challenge, brother. Like if we have a couple of injuries, you got to slot in like glove, like get me a hand on a glove, bro. Like we don't even miss Mendy, we don't even miss Rice because you're so good. Do you know what I mean? That's the kind of level we're at. So yeah, whether we can get someone of that quality, that kind of play, I'm not sure. I'm not sure, man. But yeah, we'll have to wait and see, man. Big up everyone in the building, man. Make sure you guys smash the likes button. What's going on, bro? What is going on, people? Make sure you guys smash the like button. Always says 5th position. Listen, man. I can't really. Oh, we've not strengthened, so I can't really disagree with that, man. At the minute, to be fair, like 5th, 4th, 3rd, like the round about that point. I think obviously at current time of talking, it does look like Liverpool and Manchester City are going to be ahead, if we're being honest, man. Has Zubimendi even had a medical? I'm not sure, bro. I'm just going off recent reports, man, of what people are saying. I don't think it's been confirmed he's had a medical or not in terms of like by Arsenal. It's just people, Ornstein, Fabrizio saying that he's had a medical and stuff like that. But again, it's one of those ones where for me, like I said, I'm old school though, innit? Like I like the guy to be on Arsenal.com holding up the shirt. Because if Ornstein, for example, says breaking news, Zubimendi deal off, everyone's gonna be like, oh, he's off. But these are the same people that were confident it was going to be on. So you literally don't know until you get an update from one of these journalists. And then this is what I'm saying. It's the club. Like you have to go to what the club says in it in terms of when they officially announce something. That's when you know it's concrete, set in stone. If they say we've agreed a deal, or if they say he's had a medical or whatever, that's when you know for sure he's coming. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, with the journalists, you always have to think it's not definitely confirmed until it's confirmed, isn't it? So yeah. But yeah, obviously that's with the Mendy deal and obviously the Thomas Partey deal. Yeah, I'm intrigued to see who we're going to replace him by as well. So yeah, it's going to be very, very interesting, man. Very, very interesting. Bill Colin, hope you're well, brother. Hope you're good. Make sure you subscribe to his channel. He says, I say at the moment we'd finish 3rd max based on our current business. Yeah, this is what I'm saying, bro. I pretty much agree. I say 3rd, 4th, I'd say, to be honest with you, man. But obviously that's currently, we're not obviously the season transfer winter's not over, and we've not bought a striker yet. We should do, and we're not bought a left winger, which we need to as well. And then we can obviously reassess where we think we go, because I still think we've got a good defense. I don't think that, but it's just the lack of goals, man, is definitely an issue for sure, especially if you're relying on Kai Havertz again, especially if you're relying on Mikel Marino again. Granted, Marino did a good job, but you don't really want to be relying on him. You want to be, you know what Marino wants to role should be for me now. It should be like Fellaini role at like Everton or Man United. The guy that he doesn't really start, but when you bring him on, when you need a goal and you need to put it in the box, bit old school, different kind of tactics. He can come in, get a header, get like a smart finish, a cute finish where you need like a crucial goal in an area, and you can contribute that way. And I feel like that'll be a good way to utilize him. But you don't want to be relying on him, man. Like when he's up, like we've got Man City at home and he's up front, and you're like, nah, you're that doesn't want you can't have that as a regular occurrence, in my opinion, innit? Because he's not a striker. Like he's not even a false nine. He's literally a midfielder, bro. And he did a fantastic job. I can't lie, but considering that's not his position, but yeah, he shouldn't have been put in that position in the first place. But ultimately, that potentially could revive his Arsenal career in terms of a lot of people were impressed, including myself, him in midfield. I don't think he was good enough, but yeah, I feel like now that he's in a position where he's actually contributing towards the team a bit more, scoring a few goals, crucial goals as well. I thought his hold-up play was decent too for the majority of the time he was up front. Yeah, I feel like he could be used in that position, but we'll have to wait and see, man. Obviously, Havertz is there as well, so it is a key issue, man, as well. It is a key issue as well, man, but we'll have to wait and see what happens with that. Obviously, these are the going back onto the Partey situation. If Partey does indeed depart, Arsenal will actively seek to recruit another midfielder after also losing Jorginho to Flamingo, although Zubimendi is expected to fill the void of the Ghanaian international at the base of Arteta's engine room. Arsenal are poised to ramp up their pursuit of new arrivals in the coming weeks, with the striker still considered by Arteta and Spawn director Andre Berta's top priority. Interest in the RB Leipzig's Benjamin Sesko and Sporting's Victor Gyökeres remain ongoing at this moment in time. Arsenal are seemingly still yet to commit to an outgoing for either player, as both deals seem remain to be there to be struck. Both Sesko and Gyökeres are thought to be keen to move to the Emirates, man. So yeah, a lot of people not really knowing what's actually happening, man. Let's be real. Like, I feel like there's a lot of guesswork, a lot of people not really sure about who's going to be playing where, if I'm being honest. But for me, yeah, the sooner we can get this wrapped up, the better. And we can all be excited, but be prepared for preseason, man, with some new forward lines. But I feel like the left winger is going to be last. If not, we probably won't even address it, man. Potentially. So we'll have to wait and see with that one, man. But yeah, it could be a good summer. It still could be a good summer. I want to try to be positive in it, because again, you want something to look forward to, man. But it's not looking good at the minute, bro. But we'll have to wait and see. I feel like when we get the striker situation sorted, you can then move on to other positions, which we obviously need to address: left winger, potentially another midfielder, especially with Partey going. Obviously a fullback with Zinchenko looking to be on his way out as well. So there is elements and obviously areas we do need to improve on for sure, especially obviously in that forward area. So there's not too much you can do other than obviously I hope that Arsenal get it over the line, yeah, do what they need to do. If we're being honest, man, do what they need to do. But yeah, there was there was a rumor that came out about obviously Arsenal linked with Madueke, man. Chelsea set a price as Arsenal open talks with the England winger, man. Now this is another one where at first, again, similar with the Kepa situation, I thought it was actually a joke. I actually didn't think we were linked with him again. But it does look like we actually do want Madueke for sure. Which is not good news, guys. It's not good news, guys, man. Oh boy. Also, I've learned how much it will cost to sign Chelsea star Noni Madueke, having opened up talks with their arch rivals over the transfer. After falling short in the Premier League title race for the third season in a row, Arsenal are very keen, and Arteta is very keen to bolster his attack in the summer. The new striker is a priority, but a transfer for top target Benjamin Sesko is proving hard to compete with Arsenal's latest offer to just short of RB Leipzig stars £64 million release clause. The Gunners also want to bring in another wide player and have already missed out on a long-term target, Nico Williams, who looks set to join Barcelona. The 23-year-old also made his England debut, and appears to be a key member of Thomas Tuchel's squad going forward. It would seem strange for Maresca to sell Madueke, especially given that he's short on wide options. Yet he's one of the 15 players the club have put on the transfer list. Yeah, this is crazy, man. I didn't think Arsenal would be linked with this guy, but it does look like it's legit. According to the Independent, Arsenal's interest has grown as they have spoken to their London rivals about a deal for the player who previously spent 4 years at Tottenham's academy. And the Blues have named their price, wanting £50 million for the forward, who cost £30 million from PSV 2 years ago, man. Yeah, for me, this is a straight no, especially if this is the marquee signing as well, man. This cannot be the marquee signing, brother. Like, what are we doing here? Osimhen receives mind-blowing contract offer after Arsenal and Man United talks. Yeah, that's probably from obviously Saudi. But yeah, crazy, man. While this is the cheap alternative target while this is the cheaper alternative target from the likes of Rodrigo and obviously Anthony Gordon, Arsenal have now called their interest for now. Thank God. This is obviously Madueke's stats: 89 appearances, 20 goals, 9 assists, and obviously trophies is the Conference League. So it's nothing to be getting too happy about, to be honest with you, bro. We should not be getting him, man. Like, let's be honest. But it's not. But it said that this transfer window is far from over, and Gunners may make another move for Madueke before the end of the transfer. Oh, bro, it's like a Chelsea vortex, man. Like, I thought the Kepa one, I just got to terms with. I'm like, you know what? Even though I don't like it's from Chelsea, I've still got bad PTSD from it. It's like, bro, at least it's a position. It's only 5 mil. We can just put that to a side. He's hardly going to play in obviously the big games anyway. Unless Ray's injured, touch wood. So yeah, whatever, man. Kepa, whatever, put that to the side. But this one now, especially when you're talking about the price and that could be spent on another player, another position, it's like, bro, what are we doing, man? Like, he plays on the right more. Obviously, he can play on the left, but he plays on the right more. If he's Saka's backup, then it's like, okay, that means when Odegaard gets injured or whatever, Ethan has to start then, because again, you're going to be blocking the pathway for him, because more time Arteta uses him on the right hand side, and he doesn't want to play him in that 10. And personally, I think his best performances have been on the right hand side. I feel like in that 10, he kind of gets lost into like positionally. People don't know where to find him. I feel like he's kind of out of the game. I remember he came on, I think, against Newcastle away, and obviously a difficult game, but didn't really get a touch on the ball. There was another game he played number 10, and he didn't really get touch on the ball. Like, whereas on the right, he stays out wide, he gets the ball obviously on that position. He can have a cut in and put in a cross with his left foot, or cut in and shoot on his left foot. So it's a bit more basic, a bit more of a platform for him to showcase his actual ability. Whereas in the 10, especially the way we play it as well, you got to pick up certain kind of pockets, and there's like a small window to obviously be found in those kind of pockets to do those 1-2s with Ben White and Sako, whoever's on the right hand side. And yeah, again, obviously he's just turned 18, so he's probably not grasped that position quite yet, and especially at this high level. But on the right side, he looks a bit more comfortable. So yeah, any kind of winger situation, for me, you have to then translate that into even when he's the backup to Odegaard, and not the backup where it's like, oh, he's the backup, but we don't want to play him because he's young. He has to be the actual backup. Like, when Odegaard's out of form, you start this guy. When Odegaard's got an injury, you start this guy. Not, oh, he's 18, and we don't want to start. Like, no. You can't have it both ways, man. He's either the backup or he's a squad. He's a youth prospect, and he's like third, fourth choice, and you actually buy in a proper backup. Do you know what I mean? Because yeah, we're trying to win. We're trying to win the league. We're trying to win the league, man. Bill Collin, don't want Madueke under any circumstances. His final ball is mid at best. This is what I'm saying, bro. This is what I'm saying. Like, bro, we can't be in this position of our phases or whatever and getting players like Madueke. No disrespect, man, because, bro, no, because he's not going to start for us. And even if he plays, you're paying 40, 50 mil for a squad player, bro. He's not even an amazing squad player. It's a guy that can probably fill in for 1 or 2 games. But Chelsea fans are frustrated with him. I've watched him for Chelsea, and he'll do the first bit good, but then that final decision making, whether the lack of pass or the quality of pass, always he's lacking. Not saying he can't obviously improve it, but again, we're not crash. Like, why are we getting players to develop them? We're in the final stages of what we're trying to do here. Like again, man, nah, not for me, bro. Not for me. Just quickly going on to a couple more stories, man. Before I wrap up, make sure you guys like the video, man. Subscribe to the channel if you've not already. Obviously, Teachers Sports, the morning show. Huge contract demands by Sesko, 200 grand. He was obviously trying to that's the rumors anyway, which I don't think we should pay, but we shall see. But yeah, let's have a talk about this guy, man. Arsenal set a price for Zinchenko. Now, Collins in the chat, he's a massive AC Milan fan. It would be good to get his obviously thoughts on this. Arsenal would be prepared to sell Zinchenko to AC Milan should they receive an offer of 17 million pound for the fullback this summer. Now, for me, I think that's pretty small. If I'm being honest, man. Like, I've just seen Kwanzaa go for 34 million euros, was it? So I think this is neat, bro. Like, I think we should be getting at least 25 mil for sure, man. I think he's got 2 years left or maybe one. I'm not sure. We got him in 2022-3. So I think it was a 4-year deal. So yeah, he'll have 2 years left, man, till 2027. Yeah, for me, yeah, it's crazy, man. It's crazy. Obviously, big up the chat as always. But yeah, man. Let me just get back to it. Man said, it's just crashed. Man said, Lord Rashford is gonna come. Big up Korean, back in the building as always. But yeah, man. Theo is going to El Halal for 25 million euros. Okay, so you need a backup, man. That's a crazy deal. To be fair, I don't think he'd go Saudi this early. It's gonna happen. Hopefully, it doesn't Korean, bro. Hopefully, but I can't even dispute it. We're linked with Madueke, man. So yeah, I can't even dispute it, bro. Well, big yourself up anyway. Just talking about earlier, before you came in about the Mbeumo bid going in, Man United second bid over what? How much money was it? 60+ mil, which is a lot. Do you know what I'm saying? It is a lot of money. Arsenal would be prepared to sell Zinchenko, like I said, 17 million pound. Zinchenko has enjoyed 3 seasons with the Gunners, having followed Arteta from Manchester City in a deal worth around 30 mil back in 2022. Though the 28-year-old has failed to win any silverware in that time, he has proven to be an influential member of the dressing room, with his versatility has been invaluable for Arteta. But the metric rise of Mario Skelly and Calafiori's arrival from Bologna have combined to block Zinchenko's pathway to Arteta starting a lineup. So for me, we should be getting 20-25 mil for this guy, man. Like, especially from a guy that he's Champions League proven. He's won the Premier League for Manchester City, but he's actually played a decent part for Arsenal, especially in the first season when we were challenging for the title. So I still think he's a decent player. He just got massive limitations in the fullback area. I think if you played him further up in that midfield, which I don't understand why he never did, especially as like a number. Like, I won't mind keeping him if he was going to be like and I don't know why we never did it. I mean, I suppose he was injured at the time, but why we didn't play him in that 10 role where he plays for Ukraine, bro? Like, and just see how he does there. Because that one game he played for PSV, he scored a sick goal, but he actually played very well. I remember he was actually getting the ball on the half turn and passing it pretty quickly. But we didn't see it. He didn't play him there again. So it's like, bro, obviously he's on a lot of wages though. But yeah, again, if you're not going to get a proper 10, I'd have use him as an alternative for sure, and just don't put him left back, man. Because again, I think his defensive deficiencies are very, very obviously apparent in it. Big Korean says, "You lot getting linked with Madueke is funny as hell. Aren't you supposed to be going for the league?" This is what I was been saying, Korean, bro. Like, we're past the stage. This is a signing you'd make in like 2022, 2021 when you're trying to get top 4. Do you know what I mean? Like, you can't be. And the thing is, like I said, it's so annoying. And this is part of the reason why I didn't want Kepa, not because of the particular player, but because it just carries on this kind of link with Chelsea, link with these kind of players that these rivals don't want. So then when you get stories like this, you can't even debunk it. I can guarantee you, yeah, if a story came out about Madueke going to Manchester City, everyone and their dog would debunk it. But like, this ain't happening. Man City don't get Chelsea cast-offs. But when it's Arsenal, everyone laps it up because potentially it's probably true, which this probably is as well. Like, there's not even a thing where you can just like, you know what? Arsenal not going to do that. They're not going to do that. Do you know what I mean? So it's just jarring, man. Hopefully we don't. But I can't even say it with chest that I'm confident and we're not going to freaking sign this guy. We'll get an answer you need from this scenario. with it being down to PSG, you look at your bench. Do you really think player you need is Madueke to come on to make a difference? Exactly, bro. Exactly. This is my point, bro. What you actually want, and this is what I was saying. Like, you want your first teamers, yeah, that are now to be your bench players. So can you see Trossard make a difference? For sure. Like, that's his best position, being on the bench. And that's not like a disrespect thing. That's literally, that's how he's most effective. That's why I feel like last season he didn't have a great season, because he was starting a lot more games than he was the previous seasons. Previous season, when he was that impact player where you didn't really expect too much of him, but just to come on and make an impact in a game where we needed kind of a different kind of perspective, then I think he was great. But when you rely on him week in, week out, you've seen that obviously he's not at the level, not at the quality you need, because he's not consistent enough. And again, you do need squad players. And I feel like Havertz would be the same in terms of someone bringing off the bench. Cool. Like, get me changing up the dynamic of the game, etc. You could obviously play in different balls. You could drop into that false line. But when you're playing him and he's like, you're relying on him to score loads of goals, especially to start off with in cup games or whatever, and he's missing loads of chances. It's like, nah, this ain't the guy, bro. Like, you need him to be an alternative rather than the main option. And that's why the position I think we're in. We have to, for me, in my opinion, apart from Saka, and again, even if this was supposed to be like a Saka backup, you can't be paying 40 mil for him, bro. Like, he's got to be a bit cheap, but he's a backup. Do you know what I'm saying? So yeah, it's crazy, man. It's crazy. What is Berta doing? Like, myself, stop signing players from Chelsea or supplements to requirement. This is what I'm saying. It's a stigma thing, bro. Like, it's not even the particular player. It's just that habit of going back to Chelsea every transfer window to get their cast-offs that they don't want. And we're better than Chelsea in terms of position. Like, so why are we getting players that they don't seem good enough? That's my only issue with it. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, we need to get out of the habit of that quick, man. ASAP, bro. Because it's just annoying. Do you know what I mean? It is very, very annoying for sure. Madueke isn't any better than Raheem Sterling. Nah, yeah. It's much of a muchness, isn't it? Like I said, he got that hat trick against Wolves, and then I don't think he got 10 league goals. And that hat trick was in what, August, September. So yeah, he wasn't clinical like that, but it is what it is, man. Arsenal really need to get a play in mind and break the bank for the player like Declan Rice. Stop doing these stupid bargains for sure, man. I mean, this is what Burton needs to come in and do, man. And this is why a lot of people are obviously a bit skeptical on Burton at the minute, because I feel like they thought that he was going to do that. He was going to come in and get like a agile figure that's kind of signing early on straight over the line and then go from there. But it just seems like we're kind of dilly-dallying, if we're being honest, bro. Like, we're kind of dilly-dallying for sure, man. It's not a main thing, bro. It's not a main thing. Big up Shane, bro. My brother. Smash the lights. Big up Shane. Make sure you guys subscribe to Shane. Check his new, obviously, his morning show. Full Irish breakfast starting at 10:30, man. I'll probably redirect to him. But big up Shane, man. Always a pleasure. Proper top fella, man. Here's a hypothetical. If Arsenal finish third next season, what is the excuse the fan base will make for the manager? Bro, there is no excuse they can make for him, man. I mean, in my opinion, he should be gone already. Like, he's had enough chances, had enough time, he spent enough money. Like, there is no excuses for him, bro. But yeah, even the top guys that love Arteta, and bro, even some of them are like, you know what, he has to win something, man. Because how long does this go on for? Do you know what I mean? So we're already in the 5th year or going into the 6th year. So how long does it happen for? This is why this is why we got rid of Wenger, and Wenger won league titles for us, and everyone was putting up banners. We want Wenger out. All this, stop going up to games. Like, we were doing the most to get basically one of our best, if not our best ever manager out of the door. So for a guy that's only won FA Cup in 6 years, you got to think, well, what? He's got to have the same energy, no? So yeah, we're a consistent top 4 team now. I mean, that's what the Cronkies love, bro. That's what the Cronkies love, innit? Like, they just like a consistent team that's in the Champions League, getting the money. Look at the setup. Thinking about it now, man, it was actually crazy back in the day, even during the Wenger days. Like, and I feel like that kind of promoted maybe like Sky Sports to kind of put it up as this main kind of bill, where it's like, why are we celebrating getting into the Champions League when we don't win it? Like, why are we fist pumping and stuff like that away at Newcastle and at home to Wigan and away at West Brom? Oh my God, we're in the Champions League, but we don't win the trophy. We don't win the competition. So it's crazy when you think about it now, man. But again, that's the spin that they had us in during that time, bro, where getting into the top 4 was seen as a trophy, like he said, and it just kind of took off from there, where it's not. Like, getting in the Champions League is cool, but if you ain't got any chance of winning it, what's the point? Like, that's no point of trying to get into it so you can actually go to the final and win it. Do you know what I'm saying, man? Bill Korean says City making big moves, Liverpool making big moves, and you lot are getting linked to Madueke. This is what I'm saying, bro. This is the levels, man. This is the levels, bro. Like, obviously, the Rodrigo links are cool, but again, it's a lot. It's massively dependent on if he comes into the obviously Real Madrid, and Xabi Alonso makes it clear that he either doesn't want to obviously keep him or he's not going to be in the starting lineup, so he wants to leave himself. But that's a lot of waiting around, man. That is a lot of waiting around. I feel like for that to happen, you've got to basically wait and hope that Rodrigo wants to leave Real Madrid, and that could be July, that could be August, that could be whenever. And have we got that much time to wait for a winger opportunity to potentially not get him and then not get anyone like we did last year, and we end up with Sterling? I don't think we do, man. Also, Chelsea signing that Brazilian wonder kid. They're making moves too. Yeah, he's supposed to be really, really good. He's supposed to be really, really good, man. But yeah, Arsenal are slow off the traps again. Like I said, there's still time, but if I'm being honest, bro, at this moment in time, we're finishing. I think if I had to put pressure on it or put a bet on it, I think we're finishing probably fourth. I'd say probably fourth, man, because we just the firepower is not firing. And for me, I'm taking into account that we're not gonna have Saka at full speed because again, he's come back from a obviously a hamstring injury, potentially Gabriel as well, hamstring injury. Timber is injured at the minute, like that's potentially as well. Then you've got Havertz, who obviously had a hamstring injury. That's another one too. So there's a lot of people, man. There's a lot of people. Newcastle has that winning mentality as well. They're no mugs either. Yeah, and they're back in the Champions League, and they've obviously won a trophy too, and they've got good players as well. So yeah, you gotta yeah. Yeah, you got to be wary of them too, man. The pressure is on Arteta massively this season. If he wins nothing again, he's gone, in my opinion. Yeah, I think so, man. I think you know what it is, and this is why they have so much power, the media, bro. As soon as I seen Gary Neville question it, because remember he's been pretty adamant that Arteta's doing an amazing job and stuff like that. As soon as he said he's quite lucky to be in a job after 5 years and not get sacked after not winning the trophy, that's what I thought. Oh yeah, the tide's turning a bit now. That immediate, and then Harry Carragher say it. He's got to win a trophy. Then obviously Merson said it. If he's not top by or in the top two by Christmas, he's going to get sacked. So there's already pressure from the media in it. And when the media has like an agenda or a narrative, it normally does come true because they're just pushing it all the time. Like they're always going to bring up he ain't won a trophy. They're always going to bring up that he's not challenging for the league if we're not during the start of the season. And I think towards the end of the season, the pressure will get too much potentially for the board, and they probably will sack him in it. But we'll have to wait and see. But again, I agree, man. The pressure is actually on. I think you can see it. Then that's why I think that for like this season just gone, he was saying some ridiculous stuff in it. I don't see him going. Kroenke will be happy with the top four. You'd think so, but I don't know, man. I feel like with this situation, I think the pressure of all the outside noise will get on top, man. With people not being happy, because again, you got to think as well. They keep putting up season ticket prices. They keep putting stuff up, and it's like, well, we're not going to keep paying all this kind of money, and you keep putting it up when you're keeping the manager that doesn't win anything, and then we're not seeing top quality players. We're in the Champions League, actually come through the door. Do you know what I'm saying? So yeah, Wenger only left when he failed to get into the top four. True. That is true. Also, just an asset to the Cronkies, which is very profitable at this point. Yeah, to be fair, Wenger only got sacked when, obviously, because I remember during the time, man, it was Arsenal was actually emailing me like chances to go to games, and this is Arsenal, man. They never do that, like, because no one's going in it. I remember it was the Southampton game at home. I think we beat them 3-2. There was another game at home. It might have been Stoke where we won 3-0. They emailed me about. I think Watford as well. They emailed me about saying, "Well, we got tickets. You want to come?" Because yeah, it was just getting emptier and emptier in it. Because people weren't obviously happy with the situation we were in. Not in the Champions League, not competing for any kind of trophies. So yeah. But the issue is that you lot keep buying it. So at the end of the day, it is what it is. I mean, yeah, that is a massive issue, man. But you're never gonna. The thing is with that, like, you're never gonna get a situation where you have players or you have people that are not gonna buy it. Do you know what I mean? Like, you're always gonna get either someone who's obviously a fan from abroad or someone who wants to watch Arsenal on a regular basis. Might not even be an Arsenal fan, but they just like watching football and got a load of money. They will always buy the ticket, man. So if either you lose out yourself, because obviously an Arsenal fan don't want to not get a season ticket. They want to obviously be involved. You either do that yourself or you get into a situation where it's like, well, bro, if I lose the season ticket, there's probably a chance where I'm never going to get this back ever again. Do you know what I mean? Because the waiting list is so much. So yeah, it's a difficult decision, man. I don't blame people that still keep going because they love the club in it. So yeah, man, it's crazy, man. If you think about it from the point of view of the owners, Arteta has steadied the ship and made Arsenal one of the most profitable clubs in Europe. While he's a shield for the Gronkies, it's been a hot minute. Yeah, for sure. That is a very good point. And Turkish made that point. Big up Turkish. He made that point as well, like in terms of him signing that new deal. Was that like an extra insurance policy of taking like the flack from the Cronkies? And that's why Arteta comes out and says they're the best owners. They always back me, etc. That's part of the deal of signing that new, obviously, contract. And I kind of hear it, man, because when you look at it and look at the situation, it's like, why are you defending these kind of, obviously, the owners where you've been left short pretty heavily, especially in this last season with no striker, especially when you had Jesus go out for the rest of the season. Saka was already injured for 4 months. You needed at least one forward player, probably two at the time, and then you're surprised when Martinelli and Havertz get injured. Of course, they're going to get injured. You were literally asking them to play every game for the rest of the season because Jesus was out till 2026. Saka got rushed back. He was supposed to be out till end of April, early May, but he got rushed back a month. So yeah, man, because he was originally supposed to be 4 to 6 months. So yeah, bro, of course they got injured, man. And then now these are the same owners when apparently you were offered Ollie Watkins and you wanted to get him. Because listen, let's be real. Arteta's not like Wenger. Wenger used to be like, I don't want to pay that amount for that player because he was old school in it. So he saw the value, which I think was a detriment to him in the end. Because again, it's not your money. Just improve the team. Don't worry about finances like that. Do you know what I mean? You're not in the accountant. You're the manager. But with Arteta, I don't think he cares. I just think he just wants the player in it. That's why we're willing to spend 65 on Havertz, 105 on Rice. Like, so he would have been willing to spend 60 on Ollie Watkins because he wanted him. He was offered to him, but I think he wanted him to come in. But it was the club that was like, nah, we don't really want to pay that. But there should have been more pushback, man. There should be more pushback. Obviously, some breaking news here by Fabrizio Romano. Let's have a look at what he's saying. Big up with the chat. Make sure you guys smash the likes, man. Victor Gyökeres has already personally informed Sporting president about his decision to leave. No intention to play for the club anymore. Gyökeres wants a new chapter. He feels heartbroken after the exit pact has not been obviously fulfilled, and he's not expected to return to training, as been reported. So yeah, he looks like he's not going to be back in training or back playing for Sporting ever again. So very interesting, man. Very interesting. Very, very interesting with that. But yeah, back to also what Kareem was saying. Since I've heard Arsenal fan complain about the owners, it's like it pretty much disappeared from the fan discourse. Yeah, I know a couple of people are trying to bring it back. Big up Dan Potts, big up Turkish, you're keeping it alive. Curtis Shaw as well, big him up as well. He normally talks about it too. But yeah, I agree, bro. Like the discord of the owners have definitely deteriorated for sure, because when you look at how many times they've actually let us down, not in terms of like financially, in terms of not being able to get the right personnel, not being able to get the right manager in, stuff like that. These are all things that add up. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's not a case where it's just one particular thing they've done over the course of the time they've been at the obviously ownership. Bro, there's been a lot of times where they've not done their job. Do you know what I mean? Or if they went the extra mile, we could have been in so much of a better position. I go back to again the Brighton thing, the Casado thing, wanting to keep good relations. In that January where we were 8 points clear and we could have literally cemented our Premier League title. That was the chance, bro. Just go all level. Like, look at what Man United are doing now, for example, buying Mbeumo and Cunha. They probably know that this has to work because, again, financially, if they don't get back into the Champions League in the next couple of years, then they probably won't be able to afford to keep the spending up, because it's a lot of spending without any kind of like massive European, obviously, money coming in on a regular basis. We had a chance to win the Premier League, and we got Jorginho, and now Jorginho, like I said, well, he was a good player, like for us in it. He did his job, he did his role, but we could have got a top player in Casado and had him and Rice together now. And we would have, I think we would have won the league if we would have got Casado, because he was one of the best midfielders in the league at the time. But we didn't want to harm relations with Brighton, and now we've not bought a player from Brighton since then. So it's like he already did it. So you might as well just try to bid for him as much as possible, man. I think about the time before Arteta came in, almost every single fan cam interview was about how bad the owners were. Now it's usually about Arteta. Yeah, for sure. That is very true. I mean, you know what? During the time with Wenger, I do feel like they shared it pretty evenly, you know. I know obviously everyone didn't like Wenger, but people were on Cronkies as well, man. They were. I remember at the time, just with the lack of it. Because at the time, I remember, you didn't really know if it was Wenger or the Cronkies that didn't want to spend the money. And now I still think it was a bit of both. I still think Wenger, like I said, was old school, didn't really want to spend over the top prices for certain things. But now you look at Kroenkes and the fact that we haven't spent that much we didn't spend anything in the last 2 Januaries. I only spent, I think, is it £5 or £10 million profit in the last summer. So, bro, and Wenger's not there anymore. So, it's the Kroenkes do the bare minimum. Do you know what I mean? They do the bare minimum, man, in my opinion. Or bad recruitment by the sporting director, for sure. I mean, Edu got a lot of stick, to be fair. Even though he got a few transfers over the line, there's a lot of things that he got wrong, for sure. It's crazy, man. It's crazy, man. Injuries are going to be even worse next season. Maybe not the same number of long-term. Big up Shane, by the way. Maybe not the same number of long-term injuries, but certainly a bucket load of tweaks, pulls, strains, etc. It will be a carryover from the previous year for sure, bro. I agree with that, man, as well. Because you even look at the likes of like Ben White, like he had a carryover from obviously the season before, but he was playing injured a lot of the time, and obviously the manager said that he needed surgery, but he carried on playing, and then he got injured, and he had a terrible season because of the lack of obviously preparation, because he didn't have that surgery in last summer. And I don't understand why we did that, man, because he just ruined his whole season because he couldn't never get a rhythm. He got injured and then he came back and he got injured again. So yeah, it was very, very obviously disruptive to him personally. But yeah, I agree, bro. I feel like, and again, like you said, and I said this before, obviously earlier in the stream, like people like Saka, you got to keep an eye on. People like Gabriel, you got to keep an eye on. You got to keep an eye on even like Havertz, because again, these guys are coming from long-term surgeries, hamstring surgeries. They're going to be asked to be running the same amount of time. We've still got 8 Champions League games still. You want to get further in the cups. So these kind of things are going to be a massive detriment in terms of player like safety, in terms of you already know Arteta doesn't really like to rotate too much. You know what I mean? So if he doesn't do that as well, it's going to be a massive issue, man. So I agree, bro. I think you got to keep, and this is why when obviously people say we're going to finish 5th or 4th or 3rd, I think you're taking that in mind, because we've not strengthened the team in terms of like numbers wise. And this is why I think the Partey thing is an issue as well, because ideally, you want to keep partying, get another midfielder and Zubimendi, so you got a bit more depth, a bit more rotation value in it, so you can rotate a bit more often. Because at the minute, man, and this is why it kind of annoys me with Arteta, because we're buying players or we get players in, and he doesn't use them like on a regular basis, and it's like you're getting these squad players in to take some of the burden off the current players that we've got, and you're not doing it. You're still playing Saka all the time. You're still playing Odegaard all the time. But the reason you promote Ethan Nwaneri is to obviously rotate with him to share the minutes, so it's even. Not the fact that you're going to say he's 18 or whatever. But then Lewis Skelly's playing in the team all the time, and he's 18 as well. So it's like, what the hell's going on? It's an anomaly that also gets so few injuries in the past. Also gets a few injuries like any other club, and Arteta can't stop complaining about it. Yeah, I feel like that was blown way out of proportion, man. And that's the one thing I don't like, man. In terms of when people make excuses. Listen, we did have injuries last year, and cool, it might have affected where we fit, or how many points we won, or how many games we drew, or whatever. But that wasn't the main reason why we didn't win the league. We weren't playing good when we had our full strength team. We already had Odegaard injured for a while, to be fair. There was only one injury. We still had Saka, we still had Havertz, we still had Martinelli, we still had Trossard, we still had Rice, we still had Partey. All these guys were fit. Gabriel Saliba, Timber was fit. Whoever was playing left back, Calafiori or Lewis Skelly, or whoever it was on the left back situation was fit. Ray was fit. So we had all these guys fit, yeah. The football wasn't great. I was watching the games, they weren't great, bro. The 1-0 defeat at Newcastle, the 2-0 defeat at Bournemouth, even the games that we won, we scraped past Southampton. We just beat Leicester in the last minute at home, both of these games at home. So these performances weren't great. And this is with our best team, bar one player. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, come on. Yeah, not good enough, man. So yeah, I agree, man. Because the previous 2 seasons we were nice for injuries. We did a solid. I remember thinking the season before, how have we not had Gabriel Saliba and Rice not get injured for the entire season, and Havertz and Saka? They were all fit for all of the season, bro. It was only the only guys that got injured that season. I'm trying to think, was obviously Timber, and he obviously missed the whole season, which is unlucky, and obviously Partey was out for a period of time. But they were the only real long-term absences. Obviously, Martinelli missed a few, like a month or so. Same with Trossard. But bar that, man, Odegaard was fit for the majority of the season as well. So yeah, man, you can't have it both ways, man. Facts, as View says, we weren't unlucky with injuries last season. We got lucky the previous 2, 100%, bro. And the thing is, the manager said it in pre-season in America. He said we got lucky in the centre-back position. That's why he bought, because they asked him why he bought Calafiori. And he said, we got lucky in the centre-back position the last 2 seasons with Gabriel, or last season, sorry, with Gabriel and Saliba staying fit for the majority. So we bought Calafiori in to be cover for one of those positions. So even he knew we got lucky. Do you know what I'm saying? So you can't have it both ways, man. You can't say we got lucky and then we didn't get lucky. How am I more well versed in what's happening at Arsenal than someone like Igal? Bro, Igal, man. Big up Shane as well, bro. I seen you go back and forth with Igal, bro. that was hilarious, man. But yeah, Igal's just he's just positive for the sake of it, man. And I feel like you can't believe what he says, man. Some of the stuff, because it's just based on hope. Because if you say, okay, you think we're going to win the league, why have we not won it in the last 5 years then? Or why have we not won it in the last 3 years then? Why have we not won a trophy in the last 5 years then? If you've been positive every single season since you've obviously supported Arsenal or since this period of Arteta, why has he not delivered after all this time? He's got all the players. We've spent a lot of money. You've got the players that you say are amazing. So what's stopping him from getting the trophy? Do you know what I'm saying? He can't answer it, innit? I don't even support Arsenal. No, I hear it, man. When these players need surgery, getting forced to play, the most you can expect out of them is 67%. True. We had 3 or 4 players on the field at the same time that needed surgery. How can you expect success? 100%, bro. You've got to, and this is what I say, big up Shane, man. This is what you got to. Player welfare has to be at the top of the list, bro. And this is why we say you need a big squad. Like, you need a big squad, bro. You need to be rotating. You need to be making sure players are not playing, like you said, through injury. Because it always comes back to haunt you. Because, again, I remember the season before last, Ben White got a lot of stick with his performances. And I said at the time, this guy is injured. Not because he was performing bad, just because the way he was moving, the way he was running, the way he was tracking back, he didn't look... I seen him the season before that, and he was sprinting back. He was in position. He was a bit more intense. He was a bit more like in the kind of element of his obviously playing powers. Whereas the season before, or season after that, sorry, he was looking lethargic. He looked like he was kind of carrying a niggle, and it turned out he was playing with an injury, a knee injury. Do you know what I mean? He was playing with an injury that was forcing him to not play at his best, and he was getting pelters because of his lack of form. And he won't be the only one. There'll be other players that are like that, man. There'll be other players that have been like that for sure, that have been playing with injuries and stuff like that. So, yeah, I can't really defend it if I'm being honest, bro. Like, when you look at it and you think of the obviously situations that we've got ourselves into, and the opportunity of us trying to accelerate and get more people to help out squad-wise, and we've just not done it. Do you know what I mean? We've let people like Reece Nelson go, not replace his actual body. Do you know what I mean? Same with Eddie Nketiah, same with Smith Rowe, same with Fabio Vieira. If you're going to let these guys go, cool, but you've got to replace them with players. You can't just expect another person to take up 2-3 more roles now. You're expecting Trossard to be the backup to number 10 and the left wing and up front and on the right. Like, bro, it's unrealistic, man. Because now, and then when he gets injured, you've lost cover for 4 positions at one time because you're expecting him to cover all these positions just to save on paying another guy another wage. It's crazy, man. I said injuries, and so how many midfielders and defenders do you see Arteta sign this window? Left my ass off. Yeah, nah, bro. You'll probably sign more. We're definitely got one because we're signing Kepa for sure. So that's one keeper. Then defender, we're linked with Hato. We're linked with obviously Gay. I don't think we're gonna get Gay. We might get that Hato guy. It's between us and Chelsea, apparently, according to reports. So that might be obviously a problem there. So yeah, we might get him. So that's two positions. Then potentially another midfielder. We're gonna have to replace Partey if we get obviously when he leaves, and then Zubermendi's probably gonna come in. So that's 4. Do you know what I mean? Between defenders and obviously midfielders, man, and goalkeepers. So it's too much, man. It's too much. Bro, every single club has gets bad decisions against them. That's not an excuse. Exactly. Listen, I'm not. Listen, you can point things out and say, you know what, we were hard done by. But when you use that as a crutch of why you've failed for the last 3 or 4 years, I just don't think it's enough, innit? Like, you've got to be a bit fair. I feel like it's been blown up way out of proportion, the injuries and the decisions. Listen, the couple of decisions were terrible, especially the ones where you're kicking the ball out and then you don't implement that rule throughout the entire season. I don't think that's fair. Like, if you're going to do that for certain players, cool. Then do it throughout the entire season and then scrap it the next season. You can't scrap it mid-season and then people are still doing it. So for that, cool. But that was still not the reason why we didn't beat Brighton, because we still had chances. Like Havertz with 10 men, we had a one-on-one. Saka had a tap-in and we still didn't beat them. So yeah, man, it's not an excuse, bro. It's not an excuse for sure. Big up Shane, man. He says we won't get more than 3 players, 4 max. We released 17. Wow, I didn't realize there was that many, 17 youth reserve players along with Jorginho, Tierney, and soon Partey. We already have the smallest squad, so same again next year. This is what I'm saying, bro. When you look at statistics like that and realize how small our squad is, you just feel like, wow, this is crazy. Like, How can you think you're going to be successful with a small squad when you're in 4 competitions and you want to try and win all of them? Not say you're going to win all of them. You want to try and get deep in as many as possible, obviously, to give you a better percentage of you trying to win a trophy. When you don't do that, man, it's a sticky one, bro, because again, you're putting the extra strain on the players that you've got already at the club. And yeah, that's when you get long-term injuries and stuff like that. So yeah, it's not ideal, man. It's not ideal at all. Big up Chris, my brother. What are you telling me, bro? Hope you're good. Big up, mate. Hope you're well. I'm all good, my guy. All good. Hope you're well, my guy. Obviously, Liverpool fan. You won't make any signings official till July, which is abysmal. Shocking, bro. Only club that does it, man. Only club that does it. Yeah. I just feel like, again, it's just so many excuses with the club why they can't do things like or any other club does it. Like it's either, yeah, we've got to wait till July to get this sign in. We've got to wait for Sesko to be obviously a top player before he can bang. Like we've always got to wait instead of just doing what we need to do. And there's no excuses for it. So yeah, it is shocking considering Liverpool are not in the Club World Cup. I've just won the Premier League and I've made a marquee sign, and probably the biggest sign in the transfer window, in Verts already, and he's signed through the door. Like, and we're trying to catch them. We need to catch them as well. Do you know what I'm saying? So yeah, bro, I still can't get over the fact how many Chelsea rejects you lot signed. This has been going on for a very long time. Back to back with Czech, bro. Czech, Willian, Louise, Jorginho, Havertz, Sterling, Kepa. Probably that's 7 off the top of my head in the last 8 years, 9 years, 7 out of 9 years, bro. That's crazy, man. Crazy. Potentially Madueke as well. Like, yeah, too many, man. And yeah, too many. It's like a retirement home for these Chelsea players who they can get a short-term contract before heading off to America or these lesser leagues. Yeah, I agree, man. I agree. Especially when, because obviously it's only David Luiz, I think, that's won something, I think, in the last, obviously Czech won the FA Cup as well. So Czech and David Luiz are only 2 Chelsea players that have actually won something for Arsenal. Everyone else, Havertz, Jorginho didn't win anything. Willian didn't win anything. Sterling didn't win anything. So yeah, it is looking like a retirement home where they just kind of kick back, chill, have their big kind of wages and go from there for sure, man. City are ahead of Arsenal already. These signings already settled in the Club World Cup, but I do think City will start slow due to the Club World Cup, but strong second half of the season. Yeah, I do feel like that some of the teams might have a bit of fatigue. Especially at the start of the season, potentially, because again, you do forget that these guys have not really had a break. Do you know what I mean? They finished the league season, obviously, City had the FA Cup final. Then you go straight into internationals with Nations League and World Cup qualifiers. Then you go straight into this for a month. If they get to the final, it's going to be end of July or middle of July. Then what? They'll get maybe a 2-week break, maybe depending on their preseason structure. And then by the start of August, you got to be ready to go again. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, I think. Listen, it could be. You know what it is? I think personally, it's going to be either 2 ways. They'll either start off strong because they've got that momentum of keep that carrying on playing. They didn't have that lull of a break, but then towards the end, everyone's going to get injured or everyone's going to start getting fatigued. Or they'll do what you say. They'll start off slow because again, they've not had a break, and then towards the end of the season, they'll start to pick up. So it's something to keep an eye on though, because again, if this is going to be a regular occurrence every 3 or 4 years, then yeah, it's going to be hard to maintain in it, especially when clubs are trying to win their domestic league. They're going to not want to be in this competition or do well in it because they want to just try and get out of it and try and rest their players. But yeah, shocking that obviously Atletico Madrid have already been knocked out of it as well. So very, very interesting. Very interesting, man. Yeah, but big up everyone in the chat, man. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel, like the video, man. But yeah, let's go obviously a bit quick summary of obviously the transfer dealings. Manchester United putting a second bid for Mbeumo, £60+ million. That looks like it's going to be getting sorted. Then they're also linked with the likes of Moises Kean, Victor Gyökeres, they're still linked with as well as a striker. In Cuckoo as well, they're linked with too, obviously playing for Chelsea. So, you just talk about obviously Man United, Arsenal getting Chelsea cast off. So it could be a Man United thing where they get Mount and then they get Cuckoo as well. So, yeah, man, it's not just Arsenal, man. But that'll be definitely something to look after. Obviously, Liverpool linked with Mark Gay, who wants to leave Crystal Palace. Potentially, that could be a deal that gets done with him only having a year left. I'll obviously speak about that in my second stream later on in the afternoon. And then you got the likes of, obviously, like I said, Arsenal still debating between Sesko and Gyökeres still. So, yeah, not ideal, if I'm being honest, not ideal. But yeah, when you look at situations like that, you just got to think, you know what are we actually doing here? Do you know what I mean? What are we actually doing here? Like, are we actually going to be serious and try and get some signings through the line? Obviously, the Rodrigo thing as well is still up in the air. not really sure how that's going to happen too. So yeah, man. Korean says I was not happy when they signed Mason Mount. No to Chelsea rejects. Yeah, listen, if Chelsea want to sell you a player, it's more than likely not going to work out. Really, let's be honest, man. They don't really sell their best players. I'm trying to think of a player that Chelsea have sold to another Premier League team that's actually worked out for the other Premier League team, and it's very rare, to be fair. Very rare. They normally sell players that don't want in it, or players that are past their best or giving their best to Chelsea, and they go to somewhere else, and it's kind of like on the downward trajectory in it. But yeah, very, very interesting to see what actually happens with that, man. But yeah, for me, I feel like the transfer window so far, the standouts have been Manchester City. I think the Renders one has gone under the radar as well. You know, I feel that's a quality signing. I think that's a fantastic signing a player that can play in multiple positions as well. He can play in that 8. He can drop into that 6 if it needs be, if Rodri is injured or suspended or whatever. And I think he's more than adequate cover for him, which they didn't have before. Because before you're relying on Nunes, who was never good enough. Calvin Phillips, he was never good enough. But now you've got someone of a bit of European pedigree that can actually fit in there and play a substantial part of that Manchester City squad and first team. So I feel that's a quality signing as well. Obviously, the big one with Wirtz for Liverpool, as well as them obviously keeping Salah and getting Frimpong and Kirkes. So yeah, I think if they get a striker, then bro, I think they're pretty much complete, bro. If I'm being honest, man, they've got a world-class keeper still, Alisson. Van Dijk still top of his powers as well. Obviously, maybe they're missing maybe a top DM, maybe. Obviously, Gravenberch did fantastically well last year. It remains to be seen if he can do that again. But then you got a top creative 10, and then you got Salah and maybe another striker, bro. They'll be cooking, man. They'll be cooking proper. They will be cooking proper, man. For sure. But yeah, man. I feel like that's going to be interesting to see how they get on with that situation. If I'm being honest. Man. But big up everyone tuning in. Big up the chat. Make sure you guys smash the likes on this video. Make sure you tell a friend to tell a friend. I'll be back here, obviously, this time tomorrow as well, doing another morning show, just talking about everything. Not even just Arsenal, just obviously all kind of stories as well. Obviously, the stories coming about Gibbons going to Chelsea potentially, which, again, could be a good move for him. Could be a very good move for him, actually. But yeah, we'll have to wait and see with that one. People. But yeah, I'm trying to think of what else. There's anything else. Obviously, Spurs are trying to still inquire about Mbeumo as well, but it does look like he's going to be off to Manchester United. So that's the deal. They're not going to be able to get done. It'll be interesting to see who they get, especially with obviously Thomas Frank coming in as well. They've got Champions League football, I keep forgetting, because they won that Europa League. They've got the Super Cup coming up in August as well. So, yeah, and they need major surgery too. Let's not forget it. They did finish 17th. Again, I feel like some of it was Postecoglou's set up, but you got to look at the players and think, well, it's going to have to be a massive jump for them to be a respectable team next year with the same group of players that they've got. So you could see they need a new striker for sure. I think even Solanke did okay. For me, I think he's a backup striker, man, to a top 6 team. I don't think he's the main guy, personally. Well, it could change. I mean, one thing you say about Thomas Frank, he does get the best out of strikers. Do you know what I mean? And Mbeumo, obviously Wissa as well, got 19 Premier League goals. Not got spoke about enough last year. Then Tony got I think he got 20 Premier League goals when he was there. So yeah, man. Not been spoke about enough for sure. So I do feel like Tottenham need a few players, man. It looks like Song might be going to maybe Saudi. So if you sell him, get some decent money for him, you can replace him with a new player then. But with them signing Tell on a obviously permanent deal, that's telling obviously Solanke. I don't know if they're going to sign another striker, man, because that would be 3. Because obviously Tell's a striker, can play on the left and right as well. They've not obviously renewed Werner. So yeah, interesting, man. Very interesting. Really. And if Romero goes, they're going to need a top centre back to go with Van der Ven as well. Midfield always looks a bit lacking too. So a lot of work to be done. In my opinion, a lot of work to be done when it comes to Spurs. Obviously Chelsea trying to get their wingers through the line. Sancho going back to Man United obviously is a big thing for him. Linked with Napoli. Big up ST, long time now. Hope you're good, brother. Hope you're well. Big up ST. Make sure you guys smash the likes on this video, man. Subscribe to the channel if you're new as well. Just talking about all the morning. Well, this is the morning show talking about all the big teams in the Premier League. Aston Villa, obviously, in the PSR in the red, so potentially they will have to sell someone pretty soon. Maybe it's a Martinez, maybe it's a Ollie Watkins and stuff like that. There is links that Duran might be interested back into a move back into the Premier League, back into Europe already, even though he's only been there for what, 6 months. So that could be a deal that you're looking at as well, man. Thinking, you know what, he's not a bad. He's a good lad. He's a good second striker, man. Someone that can fill in and come in. I know that's not the role he wants to play, especially how young he is, but he's got some banging goals, you know, some underrated goals for sure. Underrated goals for sure, man. But yeah, big up ST, big up everyone in the building, big up Korean, big up Chris as well, man. Obviously, just talking about Liverpool, and I feel like they're the favourites for me. If I had to pick someone, I'd say that Liverpool are going to win the league again. Right now, obviously, this is the time of recording in June, but again, transfer window ends in September, so it's still a long way to go for sure. Still a long way to go. Big up Kurt, man. Big up my bro. Hope you're well, my guy. Hope you're good. Hope you're well. How's it going? Going good, brother. Going good, man. How are you, my guy? How are you? Obviously, City doing well, 6-0 the other night, through to the last 16, I think, of the obviously Club World Cup. Good chance to win it, man. Good chance to win it for sure. Like, I think potentially you might get a hard team in the next round though, but yeah, good chance to win it, bro. Same here, bro. Liverpool favorite, yeah, for sure, bro. You can't, like I said, like they're pretty much, if they get Gay as well, man, like which they're linked with, I don't think they're gonna ease that, but I think they could potentially get Gay. He's got 1 year left. They might want to cash in if they can get 60, 70 mil for him with a year left. Would be a steal, if we're being honest, because he's gonna go for free next year. He's not gonna sign a new deal. He plays for England now. He's gonna want to go to a top team. Newcastle are after him. Arsenal are after him. Liverpool are after him. He's definitely gonna get a top team. But yeah, if they can get him as well as a back, even as a backup, do you know what I mean? Especially if Konate leaves, you would have had a solid for sure. I didn't watch it because it was at 2 a.m. Yeah. That's why I didn't do a watch along, man. I said to myself anyway, like I'm not gonna do any more watch alongs for the Club World Cup until it gets to like the last 16 in it, till there's that proper games and that. Because yeah, some of the games were a draw. 2 a.m. is long, and my kids woke up at 5 to 6. Yeah, I hear it, bro. No worries, man. I hear it for sure. Gay is mad. You don't rate Gay, bro. ST. You don't rate Gay. I think he's a good player, man. I think he's a good player. I think alongside someone else, I think you make a good partnership, because I think some of his characteristics is very composed on the ball. Good at reading the game as well, even though he's not the biggest and strongest. But I think he's solid, man. I think he's a good player. Palace will accept a £50 million fee at max for him. It gets done, in my opinion, bro. If it's 50 mil again for a player like him, like I said, we've seen centre backs, bro. Harry Maguire went for 80 mil back in when was that, 2016 or where it was, or 2018, 2019. So yeah, if you can get Gay for 50, then I think you've had a solid, to be fair. Did you see Tim McCall at Arteta? Yeah, I was reading that out a bit, bro, earlier in the stream, man. And yeah, he was, bro. It's not good reading, man. It's not good reading. I reckon he's going to get punished for that as well, to be fair. For the simple fact that, yeah, he's kind of put him on the spot. Put him on blast, if I'm being honest. Put him on blast. So it's not ideal, bro. It's not ideal. We could easily get 150 mil in sales for Kwanzaa, Elliott, Jota, Nunez. List goes on. Yeah, man. Well, listen, the one thing I say about Liverpool is that you do really, really well in terms of like selling players. Like, bro, the fact you got X amount for Kelleher as well, Kwanzaa too, like you're doing very well, bro. If you get 40 for Elliott as well, man, like I like Elliott as a player, but I don't think he's done anything spectacular to be getting 40 mil shouts. Do you know what I mean? Considering we can't sell Zinchenko for more than 20. Do you know what I mean? It's crazy, bro. It's crazy, man. 30 mil is more realistic if our Liverpool only 1 year left on his contract. Palace are getting Diamande. Anyway, yeah, I've seen that. That's not definitely confirmed as well, by the way. Like, there's a lot of other players that want, a lot of other teams that want. I think Newcastle want Diamande as well. He's a good player for Sporting. But yeah, if they can get him in first, then I feel like they can probably sell Gay for probably 45, I'd say. And I think you'd get him, man. What did Timber say? He basically was just calling out Arteta, saying that he played him when he was injured. I think he was injured before the PSG game and got injured during the PSG game as well. And Arteta just said, well, you're already injured. You can't make it worse. So just carry on playing, which isn't great, if we're being honest, especially because we have Ben White back. So yeah, he played injured basically. And he kind of called him out on it and said, well, we kind of need more players in it next year because we were down to the bare bones. I literally had to play injured because Tomiyasu was injured, Ben White was injured for a period of time, and Partey, we needed him in the AFC midfield. So yeah, that's basically what he was saying, man, which ain't great. Bill Curtis Lee going to do the stream last night about Timber calling out Arteta in Dutch. Oh, did he? Wow. I didn't really realize he called him out in Dutch, man. Big him up, man. Feyenoord fan said Slot did this with them too. Major overhaul. Wow. Fair enough, man. Fair enough, bro. Fair enough. You got to rate it, man. You have to rate it. City probably sell Gundo for 15 mil and he's 35-year-old soon. Yeah, this is what I'm saying, bro. This is Arsenal, man. This is what I want. This is what I was hoping Bert would come in and improve that. Do you know what I mean? But it just seems like he's just doing the same old, really. Just doing the same old, man. Not ideal, if I'm being honest, man. Not ideal. Not ideal at all. Not ideal at all. But yeah, we got to be getting 25 to 30 mil for your man there, man. Because this isn't great. Timber right about Arteta, but mutants will stick up for Arteta for some reason. Yeah, I don't know why they I don't know why they stick up for him, bro. Especially because I think they just fell for the PR in it of him getting us back to a certain position. But in reality, even though obviously he did well to get us to a certain position, we've stagnated for the last 2 years, really. If we're being honest, man. Especially we've not won it, well, 3 years. Especially we're not won anything. So yeah, man, it's crazy. I still think you get Sesko over Gyökeres, which isn't the right decision. Yeah, I think we're going to get Sesko over Gyökeres. I think they're just playing that kind of a game of cat and mouse, really, at the minute, man, where we don't want to pay a certain amount. They don't want us, obviously, to pay a certain amount as well. They want more. We want to pay less. And then eventually, because they need the money, they're going to be like, you know what, we'll just come to this kind of resolution in it. And because I think we really want him. I think Arteta really wants him. Which, for me, I'm like, nah, man, just get someone else in it. Do you know what I mean? Just get someone else. Because ST said, yeah, when Slot came in at Feyenoord, he sold 11 players and brought in 13 players in his first window. That's crazy turnaround, man. That is madness. That is a madness, bro, for sure. I can see Liverpool getting Isak next summer. Yeah, man. It's not looking... This is what I'm saying, bro. This is the problem when you try and wait around for players, man. You stagnate as a club, and then other teams just improve so much to the point where it's just ridiculous. Do you know what I'm saying? You're getting players, like you said, getting players come in and getting teams buy all the players that are just top quality. Do you know what I mean? So, yeah, man. Crazy, bro. Crazy. But yeah, man, I'm going to jet off, man. I'm going to redirect to my boy Shane. He's doing, obviously, his full Irish breakfast. Make sure you guys go in there, say Tops Raid, teach us a raid, all that good stuff. I'll be back at 2. I'm doing another show, man. I'll be back at 2 doing another transfer show talking about Rodrigo and all the other transfers, probably more in depth about Gay as well. And then I'll be back at 5 to do Arsenal and chill, man. So make sure you turn your notifications on for all these shows. Yeah, gonna obviously up the show intake now, man. And hopefully you can talk to you guys a bit more, man. But yeah, big up everyone tuning in. Make sure you guys like the video, subscribe to the channel, and make sure you say T-Chanzo Raid, Tops Raid over to Shane. I'm out. I'll see you, man, at 2. Peace and love.